Hello, dear friends out there in YouTube land. Today I want to talk about my September 2018 book haul. So this is partially a book haul video and partially a plug for a really great bookstore that I got to go to last weekend. It's Second Story Books. And I live in Washington, D.C., and they have a location on P Street up in DuPont Circle that I've talked about on this channel before, but they also have a location out in Rockville, Maryland, which is their warehouse location. And this is my first time going there. And I have to tell you, it's an amazing bookstore. It's a huge library of all kinds of books, every subject you can imagine. And they're very cheap, very reasonably priced. Everything is, or almost everything is 40% off the list price. And even they're already discounted for being used, but they're 40% off that. So you can get some really good bargains out there. Huge amount of books. If you have a few hours to kill and you're in the Maryland area, I highly recommend checking that one out. So here's what I got. From the P Street store, I got a lycanthropy reader, which is pretty interesting. It's a whole collection of not just stories, but medical accounts, legal accounts of lycanthropy, people believing themselves to be werewolves or wolves of some sort throughout history. That's a pretty interesting one. I got that for like $7 or $8. Well worth it. Also from the P Street store, I got this Griffin Editions leather-bound version of A Treatise on Insanity, which is the Classics in Medicine library. This is an addition to my ever-growing library of Griffin editions dealing with the subject of insanity that I haven't read yet, but I'm excited to keep building that library. And these are like $70 on their website, but you can get them. I got it for less than half that at the P Street store, so it's a good deal. I'm excited to read that one. I like getting these nice heavy leather-bound editions. They look so good on my bookshelf behind me. And this one had a nameplate. See, these papers are really pretty. It had a nameplate of someone else's library in here on the inside cover, but I managed to remove it without any damage to the book, so I'm happy about that. And then, excuse me a moment, from the warehouse in Rockville, I picked up these 2-volume set of hardcovers, which is Early Victorian History, the history of early Victorian England. And this is a really interesting volume because it's not just like your typical history book. It's got a collection of essays by various people that describe kind of everyday life in early Victorian England from the 1830s to the 1860s. There's a section on work and wages and what labor conditions were like, a section on laws, customs, holidays, all sorts of just everyday cultural things that you don't think about. It's not about the wars and about the kings and queens. It's about how people lived in that period of time. So it's a nice thick 2-volume set. I'm excited to read it. This was marked down 40% from the list price, so I got both of these volumes for a total of $15, which I think is an amazing deal for something like this. You probably pay $100 for this online if you're buying it new, so that's a good deal. So that's my book haul. I got a lot of reading to do. That'll occupy me for the next several months for sure, but I wanted to plug Second Story Books, Rockville, Maryland, and DuPont Circle for being just a terrific bookstore with lots of variety of things, lots of old books, lots of out-of-print books, amazing things. If it's not the best place to go if you are looking for something specific because it's a huge warehouse and it's not that well organized. But if you just want to spend a couple hours wandering around and looking at the books, it's amazing. I love doing that sort of thing, and I hope you do too. I've been Logan Albright. I'll catch you next time. Have a good weekend.